already know who it is. It's your girl, Sugar Nah, blessing you once again with the What Needs Some Sugar Podcast.
Episode 29. Well. This episode, we're going to get into a little bit of politics, not too deep like we did last week. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to report on another school shooting, but are we surprised in this day and age in America? The passing of Pope Francis, RIP, and just a little update on Karmelo Anthony and the Austin Metcalf case. This week in drama and bullshit, Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $50 million. You will not believe by whom and how old they are. A little bit of love and hip hop news. Kirk and Rasheeda are still dumbasses. Karlie's being arrested for burglary. And then lastly, Clarissa Shields wants to fight Tesekhi from Baddies. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the episode. Make sure you are following me on all my social media platforms. On TikTok, you can find me at Sugar Nah, that's SUGGAHNA. And also, it's Sugar Nah, that's ITSSUGGAHNA. That is mostly my review page if you're into TV shows, documentaries, and things of that nature. On Facebook, you can find me at Sugar Nah, that's SUGGAHNA, and Needs Some Suggah Podcast. Make sure you put the S at the end of needs. It's NEEDS, Needs Some Suggah Podcast. And once again, that is on Facebook. On Instagram, you can find me at Sugar Nah, SUGGAHNA, and at Sugar Podcast, SUGGAHPODCAST. And with all that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. I want to start off with something positive because the next thing I talk about that has to do with Robert F. Kennedy is personal to me and it kind of pisses me off. So let's start out with the good thing that he might be doing. So ABC reports, during a press conference on Tuesday, April 22nd, Robert F. Kennedy unveiled a plan to start phasing out 8 synthetic food dyes in the American food supply. HHS and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration are looking to revoke authorizations for 2 synthetic food colorings and to work with food manufacturers to eliminate 6 remaining synthetic dyes used in foods such as cereals, snacks, ice cream, and yogurts. Studies have linked dyes to behavioral changes as well as cancer in animals, suggesting this may extend to humans. Now, I completely agree with this. I completely stand behind this because we've all been saying for years that we believe the food that we're consuming in this country is causing some of the ailments, diseases, and disorders that we are seeing prevalent in today's society. One thing I will say is this started from within. This started from these companies having enough money to lobby these senators and representatives in order to have them pass laws that let them put whatever the fuck they want in our food. And all of it is so that they can have cheap production and maximize their profits. Although I feel like recently we as citizens are making a big deal about these big corporations maximizing their profits, guys, I feel like they always have been doing this. I feel like this is nothing new. These companies have always looked for the cheapest product and the cheapest labor in order to push their product out and sell it for the highest amount that they can get away with. And as consumers, we just love to buy products. We love to have the newest thing. And I used to be an over consumer. I loved shopping on Amazon. I love going to the grocery store and just getting the newest products and seeing how that tastes and this tastes. But I don't know if it's an age thing or maybe a financial thing, but I just was like, you know what? I'm spending a little too much money on bullshit and I'm kind of done. And I don't know if some of you knew this, and I hope it infuriates you as much as it infuriated me when I first heard of it. But a lot of the ingredients that are allowed in our food in America is not allowed in a lot of countries. It's actually banned in a lot of countries. So these same companies can make the same food without the harmful ingredients. It just might cost them a little more and take them a little bit more time. For example, many of these dyes that they're trying to outlaw in the US have been outlawed in Europe, have been outlawed in China, have been outlawed in many other countries. Yeah, and this is all due to the fact that the CEOs and the heads of these companies are lobbying our politicians to keep these ingredients in our food, and they're benefiting monetarily in the end. Or there's some type of bribery going on that honestly should all be illegal, but it's not because everybody is connected somehow in the political world. But I think in order for things to really change, this whole system needs to crash and burn and be flipped upside down or put on its ass. In order for us regular people to really start having a voice again, these people talk a good game during their campaign trails, get people to vote for them, and then all of a sudden, once they're in office, everything that they decide to do is in their own fucking interest. And it's such a shame because what happened to real politicians that are really fighting for the people? I know there's still some in Congress and in the Senate and in the White House, but it's very few people. It's almost a handful of people that actually take these political positions and do what they're supposed to do for the people they're supposed to be representing. They talk a good game on the campaign trail, get our vote, get in there and start doing shit in the best interest of them and their family and their bloodline, period. Now, I gave RFK his props. Now I'm going to have to tear this fucker down. So PBS reports U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. attracted notice in some quarters outrage for remarks about autism, a topic he's clashed with scientists on for years. Kennedy held on April 16th a press conference pegged to a new Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report that found the prevalence of autism raising to 1 in 31 among 8-year-olds, the latest in a series of increases in recent decades. Kennedy said autism destroys families and is an individual tragedy as well. Kennedy said many autistic children were fully functional and regressed into autism when they were 2 years old, and these are kids who will never pay taxes, they'll never hold a job, they'll never play baseball, they'll never write a poem, they'll never go on a date. Many of them will never use a toilet unassisted. He also said most cases now are severe. 25% of kids who are diagnosed with autism are nonverbal, non-toilet trained, and have other stereotypical features. Medical experts, along with people on the autism spectrum, told Political Fact that Kennedy's portrayal was skewed. A 2023 study written by CDC officials and university researchers found that 1/4 of the people on the autism spectrum have severe limitations, but this is on the high end of the studies. And many people in that 1/4 of the autism population do not have the limitations Kennedy mentioned. The vast majority of people on the spectrum do not have those severe challenges. Now, I told y'all this is near and dear to me because my baby was officially diagnosed with autism January 2024. My baby is smart in many other ways and may contribute to society in the future in a different way. They also want to create a database of people who have autism or officially been diagnosed with autism by using our medical records, our private medical records, in order to compile a list of people in the United States who are diagnosed with autism. And why, you say? Most likely to put these people in camps to try to get rid of them because they're no use to society. Because when you're talking about autism, why is the first fucking thing you say is these people are not able to pay taxes? And then you follow up with some other maybe physical ailments, but the first thing you say is they're never going to be able to pay taxes. Is that all you're fucking worried about? As someone who is a taxpayer and not diagnosed with autism, I don't mind if my taxes are used for services to benefit someone with autism who might not be paying taxes. I don't give a fuck about that. See, a lot of us Americans don't mind paying taxes as long as it's going towards a good cause and the greater good. Now, I get a little sticky when we start talking about food stamps and cash assistance and Section 8 and all that other stuff. Because yes, you always have people that are going to abuse the system, but most of the people that are on the system are not abusing it. They really fucking need that shit. So, like I said, as a contributing member to society, as a tax-paying adult that does not have autism, I don't mind my tax dollars going towards programs and services and to pay those professionals that work with these children or these young adults who have autism and who need a little extra help from day to day. And also, it takes some of the pressure off the fucking parents because, like I said, as a parent to a child with special needs, as a parent to a child with autism, we need a goddamn break. So if there's a program that I can put my daughter in, that the state pays for, that the government pays for, and it's to benefit my child, I will gladly put her in there because like I said, as a taxpayer myself, those are where my tax dollars are going to, then go the fuck ahead. I do not care. And another thing I want to touch on when it comes to this stupid ass argument about autism is, oh, why is everybody getting diagnosed with autism? That's because people are actually taking their kids to the doctors when they notice something might be fucking wrong. Please don't act like we never had cousins that we knew something was off with them, but their parent never took them to the doctors, never mentioned anything about their special needs. It's almost like we didn't even talk about it. You didn't see them be on medication. They might have had an outburst and their parent got mad and sent them to a back room or hid them away from the family instead of actually incorporating them into the fucking family. It's almost like back in the day, people who had special needs were either ignored or it's just like it was hush hush and nobody talked about it. It seemed like back in the day, and I mean 15 years ago and beyond, when people had special needs, people barely talked about it. It wasn't a big conversation that a family had. It wasn't a conversation where people sat down and said, you know what, I think my child needs help. Because one, just to be on a sympathetic note, some parents don't want to admit that something is wrong with their child because then in turn, it makes them feel like they may have failed as a parent And I don't think that is true. If something is wrong with your child, you fail as a parent when you don't get them the help they fucking need. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. A lot of the people I went to school with, now that my daughter has an IEP, a lot of y'all motherfuckers needed an IEP. A lot of y'all were looked at as if y'all were dumb. Y'all were not dumb. Y'all just could not process the information y'all were given in the way that the school system was giving it to y'all. Y'all needed a special education plan in order to meet your specific needs. And a lot of y'all probably had autism now that I know what autism fucking looks like, okay? A lot of our parents might be autistic, but don't think that they gave autism to us. A lot of our grandparents had autism and don't believe that they done passed it down the line. It's almost like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. did not consider the fact that not a lot of fucking people took their kids to the doctors. But let me tell y'all something as a member of the Black community, being a Black woman my damn self. Therapy has just become something we might talk about freely in our families. And that's just the tip of the mental health iceberg. So imagine just regular health services. A lot of parents become embarrassed and ashamed if their child has special needs, and I say that in quotes. Special needs is just exactly that. Listen to the words. You have a special need. You might not be able to process this information that I'm giving to you in the way that everybody else around you processes it. So now we have to come up with a plan, aka IEP, in order for me to give you this information in the way that you specifically need it. And I'm going to stop right here with this subject because I can go a whole fucking episode. And I just might one of these days. I just got to get all my shit together, all my facts, all my talking points, because I'm going to go off when I actually talk about this subject. Being a parent to a child with special needs and actually accepting that my child will have special needs probably for the rest of her life, but still not counting her out and making sure that I get her and making sure that I get her the fucking help that she needs. Yes, I look at other parents a little bit disappointed when I notice that their child might need help and they probably know that too, but they feel like it'll be a failure on their part. And like I said, the failed as a parent label comes in when you don't give your child the help that they need, especially if it's because you're afraid what other people are going to think, when those people themselves probably need a goddamn IEP. I digress. Next fucking subject. Real quick, the Department of Education will resume collections on May 5th for delinquent student loans, and people are in a fucking frenzy. Garnishing wages and student loans going into collections is not something new. This is something that has been happening. However, the Trump administration just reversed an order put in by Biden during his term in order to pause collections and the garnishment of wages back during COVID. They did away with that and said, hey, y'all got to start paying y'all student loans back again. Now, I agree with both sides of this argument. Some people are saying you took the loans out, you got to pay it. Correct. I feel like a lot of people don't mind paying back their student loans. It's just in this day and age, the economy is so bad, the wages are so low. A lot of people are delinquent on their student loans because they literally cannot afford to pay that back. A lot of people look at their bills and say, what bills do I need to pay right now? And most of that is mortgage, rent, car insurance, health insurance, food and groceries. In this day and age, you need a fucking phone. So most likely a phone bill, a Wi-Fi bill, cable bill, things of that nature. And then everything else trickles down the line. And then at the end of the day, you might have a little extra to pay a student loan, but that is something very last on a lot of people's list. So the problem comes in where you're garnishing wages, and a lot of people would pay their student loans back if they could afford it, but they can't. So if you have student loans that you are delinquent on, please make sure by May 5th you have your affairs in order, because they coming for you and they coming to get you. Sorry about it. In our While That Really Happened segment, a little bit of sad news. On April 17, 2025, a mass shooting occurred on the campus of Florida State University in Tallahassee, Florida. The alleged perpetrator, 20-year-old student Phoenix Ickner, killed 2 employees and injured 6 other people. Now, this is very sad, but it seems like us as a country, we're kind of used to these school shootings, and I feel like nothing is being done about it. It's just, oh, that's sad and we need to do better, but better is never done. There was allegedly a video circulating around. I didn't go looking for it to watch it myself because I knew that it would ignite a rage in me that I wouldn't have been able to come down from for quite a few hours. But allegedly, there was a video that a girl posted of her walking past one of her fellow classmates bleeding on the ground after just getting shot allegedly by the perpetrator, Phoenix Ickner. And the girl was just sipping her Starbucks and walked past her classmate bleeding out on the grass like nothing happened. And then a lot of people were saying, oh, we've become so desensitized. I agree with some of the people that said that's not someone being desensitized. That's someone being a psychopath, a sociopath. You have no empathy and no emotion for what's going on in front of you. I don't give a fuck how many school shootings you've been through, you've seen on the television. If there is somebody bleeding out in front of you and all you do is walk past them, you had no emotional reaction to what you just saw. As a human being, bitch, you're weird. If that's true, I was seeing some reports that that video wasn't from the FSU shooting, but regardless, they said it was a video of somebody bleeding out on the ground. So if it is a shooting from somewhere, somebody still walked past that person drinking their Starbucks and didn't help them. So my opinion kind of still stands. Next, RIP to Pope Francis. I am not Catholic, so unfortunately, this death didn't hit me as hard as it may have hit others. But I still want to say RIP and my condolences to his family and also everyone affected by his death. Lastly, and while that really happened, a small update on the Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf case. So to reiterate, Karmelo Anthony is a 17-year-old boy accused of killing Austin Metcalf at a school track meet. Austin's father was just recently recorded, because he wasn't actually there, slamming a member of the Proud Boys for using his son's death in order to start a rage war and using his son's name for their own racial agenda. A member of the Proud Boys was basically fucking mouth vomiting all of his racial rhetoric, and Austin Metcalf's father was on speakerphone and said, "Don't associate my son's name or what happened to him with any fucking racial war you trying to start, because we not on that fuck shit." And Austin Metcalf's father was like, "Hey, bitch, I don't give a fuck that boy was black and my son was white. This is not a race issue, so fuck off, nigga." Lastly, in drama and bullshit, Uncle Shay, Uncle Shannon Sharpe, who is 56, is being sued for $50 million by Gabrielle Zuniga. I don't know if that's how you say her last name. I think it's Zuniga, but she's 20 for sexual assault and manipulation and a slew of other accusations. There was leaked audio of Shannon Sharpe saying he was going to choke the shit out of this girl. There was also text messages that Shannon Sharpe released on his own where the girl was like, "I want you to put a big black baby inside me." Man, listen, these old niggas are creeps. These old black men love race play with these white girls, whether they're young or old. They love being called a nigger. They love being treated like a slave. They love being disrespected by a white woman, but yet will tell you that they don't date black women because black women don't listen. But mind you, behind closed doors, these white women are calling you all types of shit outside your name that a black woman wouldn't even think to call you. The thing that makes this situation so to me is the fact that Shannon Sharpe is an old ass man and this girl is young as hell. So that's the first layer of it. It's always these very old niggas trying to date these very young girls and they just say, "Oh," and then people sit there and wonder why. And it's like, "Oh, they got a nice body." No, it ain't just about the girl having a nice body. These young girls are impressionable. Not calling them dumb, because when I was young, I wasn't dumb. But if an older man comes and talks to you, you think he knows more about the world than you do, so you're more inclined to listen. I don't feel bad for Shannon Sharpe. This is exactly what the fuck he get. Cat Williams on his Club Shay Shay interview said white women could take you down in 2 weekends, and Shannon Sharpe didn't listen. He laughed it off. Monique on her Club Shay Shay interview told him, "You need to find you an old bitch that's gonna make you some cheese, eggs, and some toast with some apple butter, and make sure you get your energy back up, and make sure you ready to go out in the world and make y'all some motherfucking money. This young girl wants to drain you of your life force and send you on your way. This bitch is suing you for $50 million fucking dollars, and you met her at a gym and you telling her you gonna choke the shit out of her when you see her. You're a fucking weirdo, and I don't respect you for that. Y'all niggas are weird. Like I said, there's 2 things going on right now. It's an older man dating a younger girl just for the aesthetics, just for the manipulation of it all, and just for the grooming of it all, right? Allegedly. It's a black man allowing a white girl to say some borderline racist shit and he's okay with it. A lot of these black men who date white girls are okay with these white women being racist towards them. Now, I'm not saying all white women are, that's not what I'm saying, so don't mix up my words. But it is common for these black men who date white women, no matter their fucking age, to allow the white women to run off at the mouth and say some racist ass shit and they just laugh it off or they think it's cool because they allow it in your household. Let your bitch say something like that to me at Walmart, I'ma slap the fucking taste out of her mouth. She can call you all types of niggas behind closed doors. Let her try that shit at Walmart. She getting slapped from the motherfucking kids section to the front registers. Stop playing with me. Y'all really need to check these bitches. If you're fucking them for the plot, if you're fucking them for the history of it all, because you think their pawpaw might roll in his fucking grave, knowing that his sweet grandbaby is getting pounded by a big black man, then go ahead. Do it, but also teach them and let them know that you're going to respect black people. I don't give a fuck who you think I am. And that's all I got to say about Shannon Sharpe. I'm not even going to lie. I hope she gets something. I hope this teaches him a lesson wherever his lesson need to be taught. because I don't feel bad. People are feeling bad, or people are like, yeah, people are on his side automatically because he a black man and she a little white girl. No, this black man started talking to this little white girl knowing how old she was. They've been talking for 2 years. That means when he started talking to her, she just turned 19. That's a 30+ year age gap between y'all. And you think I'm supposed to feel bad for him because it's a little white girl trying to take advantage of a black man? I don't even see that. What dumb shit they be saying these days? I don't see color. I don't feel bad for that old creep ass nigga, because that's exactly what's going on right now. A old creep ass nigga is getting caught up and his karma is spinning the motherfucking block. Stop messing with these young girls and get you somebody more age appropriate that don't need shit from you and might not sue you for $50 million. Or somebody that if they did sue you for $50 million, you might be able to swallow it a little better, versus this young 20-year-old white girl getting 50 million of your motherfucking dollars. Now, do I think she gonna get all that money? No. But also, if she does, I'm not mad personally. He gonna be shitting bricks, but that's gonna be his fault, because you should have never talked to that bitch in the first fucking place. Next story. Kirk and Rasheeda were being interviewed by Carlos King, and they were on there talking cash shit and throwing cash shade at Yandy and Mendices. Rasheeda is a bird. She has no motherfucking thought process of her own. Anything her and Kirk say have no fucking logic behind it. Every time I hear them talk about something, every time I hear their viewpoint of something, I never agree. It never really makes sense. And you just look at them like y'all got some motherfucking nerve. Next story. Karlie was arrested for a burglary that happened in January. She supposedly broke into T-Lo's house, just got arrested for it on the 23rd of this month. Yet currently on this season of Love and Hip Hop that's airing now, she's on there crying about a wedding that she don't think is going to happen, and she don't think he love her like that, and yada, yada, yada. And look at what's going on. A couple episodes ago, I told y'all he done punched her all in her fucking face. He got arrested for what he got arrested for. They're getting a divorce. She's getting $18,000 a month in spousal support until they really go to court. It's a fucking mess. I don't feel bad for Karlie because she too old to be making the decisions that she make. At this point in her life, she should know better. It seemed like she always rushing something with somebody. She always trying to get engaged or get married, and she make it seem like they the love of her life. And then a couple months later, we find out she being abused, which is not funny, but we find out there's some domestic violence going on. The nigga's cheating. He ain't shit. He might be a little broke. She been helping him. You might as well be single, be a hoe, and be happy. A lot of y'all shun women for being single and being quote unquote hoes, but it seemed like those be the happiest bitches on earth. Happy hoes ain't hating, and hating hoes ain't happy. That saying didn't just come from nowhere. Next. I also want to mention that if you want to watch my Love and Hip Hop reviews, I do post them on my TikTok. It's Shuggahna, that's ITSSUGGAHNA on TikTok. Once again, that's ITSSUGGAHNA on TikTok. So if you want to see a video of me talking about Love and Hip Hop, you can find it there on my TikTok. Make sure you follow me also on Facebook, SUGGAHNA, because I also post the same videos there. Next, Clarissa Shields wants to fight Tesekhi from Baddies. Clarissa Shields is a professional boxer, and Tesekhi is just a cast member on Baddies. Now, Tesekhi has whooped everybody's ass that she has fought on Baddies. And I guess Clarissa Shields is like, oh, she thinks she bad, I could take her, I'll whoop her ass. But Clarissa Shields, you are a professional boxer. That's like Floyd Mayweather saying he wants to fight Jonathan Wright, from Bad Boys. Not saying that Jonathan or Tesekhi will lose automatically, but you are a professional boxer. You train. I think Tesekhi even said that in one of her interviews or stories or whatever. She said, girl, if I train just as much as you do, we'll have an equal fight. Don't act like you'll just whoop my ass. I'm out here beating bitches' heads in and knocking bitches' teeth out with no training. Imagine if I trained every day just like you, got in the gym every day just like you. I don't know, y'all. I don't really follow Clarissa Shields, but anytime I see her, she's always saying or doing something corny. She the same person that's with Papoose now and was trying to fight Remy Ma. It's just like, girl, you come out looking corny, being corny, talking corny. Like wanting to fight Tesekhi from Baddies as a professional boxer is so corny to me. And honestly, Tesekhi, I hope you take her up on her offer, and I hope you get in the gym and start training, and I hope you whoop her ass. And a lot of people are weird, right? It's almost like you root for this person, like y'all were rooting for Tesekhi every time she won a fight. But it seemed like now that she's won all of her fights, y'all can't wait to see her lose. I don't want to get too deep into it because I can go deeper than just this, but I noticed that a lot on social media. Y'all will really fall in love with somebody for a little minute, and then all of a sudden something switches and you want to see their downfall, or you want to see something negative happen to them. And I honestly think it's like the human thing where you want to see that this person's not perfect and you want to see something negative and you need to see something negative so that your brain can process that this person is an actual real human being and they're not invincible. But it also speaks to who you are. Why the fuck are you so enamored? Why the fuck are you so infatuated with me? Y'all put these people on a pedestal and then all of a sudden you realize you're tired of looking up. So then you want to tear them down and kick the pedestal from under them. And then you realize now the pedestal is made of stone and them bitches is standing firm on it. And it's like, no, y'all put these people on a pedestal and now you want to see their downfall so bad because you think that they got too big for their britches when you fell in love with them in the first place for the same reason why they stayed up on that pedestal. Y'all fell in love with Tesekhi for whooping bitches' asses. Now y'all want to see a fight where she loses to somebody who could fight better than her. Like, y'all miss me with that bullshit. Like, y'all put people up and then want to bring them right on down. I was having a conversation with my boyfriend and I said, it kind of scares me to be an influencer. It kind of scares me to be put on a pedestal because there might be things that I do that you don't fucking like. Do not put me on no pedestal. I'm just a regular fucking person just like you. I just might be funny and you like the vibe I bring. But at the end of the day, I never want people to forget that I am a human being just like you. Like, it makes me a little uncomfortable because I'm like, bro, I'm a regular person just like you. Give yourself just as much credit as you giving me because I know who I am. And if I walk around here acting like I know that I'm the shit, eventually you're going to feel some type of way because you're going to feel less than when it comes to me and my personality and my confidence. No, I want you to feel confident in who the fuck you are so that when you stand next to me being confident in who I am don't fucking bother you. Like I said, that's another story for another day. Clarissa Shields and Tesekhi, I do hope to see y'all in the ring one day. And Tesekhi, honestly, whoop her ass. And that is it for episode 29. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I gave y'all real raw emotions in this episode because I was really feeling all the topics. I'm not going to lie. Once again, I want to give a shout out to my social media pages. Make sure you're following me on TikTok. That's SUGGAHNA and ITSSUGGAHNA. That's Sugarna and then at It's Sugarna on TikTok. Facebook, you can find me at Sugarna, SUGGAH space NA. And Needs Some Suggah Podcast, NEEDS, Needs Some Suggah Podcast on Facebook. On Instagram, you can find me at Sugarna, SUGGAHNA, and Suggah Podcast, SUGGAHPODCAST. Make sure you're following me on other social media platforms just so you can be updated on any podcast announcements, especially the podcast Instagram. I want to give that to y'all one more time. That's SUGGAHPODCAST. That's Suggah Podcast on Instagram. Because throughout the week, I post other stuff instead of you waiting for Fridays when I drop an episode. Okay? Got it? Good. Once again, I'm asking for fan mail. Let us know how you're feeling about the podcast. You also can support the podcast for as low as $3 a month. No commitment. Cancel anytime. Just supporting the podcast every month helps us keep the podcast rolling. These softwares aren't free. These hosting websites are not free. But I do it because I love it and I do it because I love y'all. Your support is very, 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 very appreciated. Like I said, we are working to get a new laptop. If you would like to make a donation to the laptop fund, you can cash at me at $Sugarna. That's $SUGGAHNA. And in the memo field, just put laptop. We're going to put that towards the laptop fund. I actually want to get an iMac, but that's a little bit ambitious. I want to get the pink iMac. But we're doing what we got to do with what we got right now. Editing on this laptop that I got now is a little bit of a struggle and it does take a little bit longer. But like I said, we're pushing through until we can afford a new iMac or MacBook. Regardless, thank you so much for your support. You also can support the podcast for free, liking, sharing, and commenting on any podcast clips you see, telling your friends and family that your favorite podcast is the Needs Some Suggah Podcast and they should be following and listening to the Needs Some Suggah Podcast because they are in fact missing out. Let people know it's the shit over here and Sugarna is the best. And with all that being said, what do I always say? It's good, but it needs some sugar. Right.
Psychic, I like this.
You already know who it is. It's your girl, Sugarna, blessing you once again with the What Needs Some Suggah Podcast.